Well, hello again. Hopefully everyone can hear and see me clearly. I tried to. All right, here we go. Um, if you were here earlier, I was using. Uh, yeah, I was using Streamyard, and I don't know what happened. All right. For some reason, StreamYard crashed. So I just decided to just straight live stream from YouTube. So go ahead and hit that like button. Guys, the video that I did earlier, if you did not have the opportunity, please go ahead and check that out. Um, I'm telling you, uh, it's taking off. And I was just on another YouTuber's channel, and folks, people are so angry about what is taking place and what is going on. And so I thought, hey, I had a lot of, I thought, hey, I had a lot of new people in the chat uh, earlier. And so I figured, hey, uh, a lot of them may not know about some of the things that we talked about. How you doing again, Lisa? Uh, Hello, Cha Cha, Floridia, Chef, everyone, Observer, welcome to the chat. And so some of you may not be familiar with some things that we've already talked about. And if you look at the title, Democrats worry after New York Times poll shows Black voters went from 4% to 23%. Now, look, I have a video playing. Some people don't want to believe it. You have the puppets who are saying they don't believe the poll numbers. They're going to find out, okay? People are upset. People are tired of being used and abused by the Democrats. How you doing, Mr. Nice? Okay. Thank you so much. And so I will try. Um, and so you guys need to know what is going on. And so I have this here. Let me get this started.
Ain't gonna be fine. Black folks gonna show up for Democrats like they always do. So if you look at on the screen here, this is the particular poll they're talking about out of the New York Times. Now I went through this and I wanted to cover the portions that would be important to us here and what we're going to look at. So we took these two excerpts from that particular poll, and I want to home in on these two just to start. So if you look here, it says, who did you vote for in the 2020 presidential election between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, or did you not vote? Now, you have people here. If we want to go to Donald Trump, you see Black people in 2020, they said they only gave Trump 4% of their vote at that time period, those who were polled. They gave Joe Biden 67% of their vote at that time period. Now you look at white folks, you look at Hispanics at that time. Now, let's go to 2024 and say, if the presidential election were held today, who would you vote for if the candidates were Joe Biden, the Democrat? We go over here to black folks, 66%. Donald Trump, the Republican, 23%. Now, why that 23% happened? How did it go from 4% of Donald Trump in 2020 and go all the way to 23% where they're putting in a poll? Let's go ahead on and talk about that here for a minute. What happened from 2020 to 2024? Yeah. Joe Biden, see, when he won the election in 2020, it was on him to show and prove. It was on him. He sit up here and made promises to the black community. He didn't deliver anything. Matter of fact, as soon as he got in the office, he started giving things to the Asian community. He started giving things to Ukraine. He's flying in migrants, papering them up. He's giving to everybody else except black Americans. And black Americans have not only seen we didn't get anything as a collective of people, but we're literally watching everybody else get it who did not vote.
So, and you get the gist of the conversation, but again, people are waking up, right, Laura? All Americans, and some of the YouTubers that I watch. How you doing, Sugar Daddy? Right, we count money, they count votes, exactly. And again, every American should be outraged, regardless of race. This is treason. What they're doing to the American people, and we should not stand for it. I have been advocating people who live in the sanctuary cities file class action lawsuits. Do something. Don't just let them run all over you. DSB. Okay, Andrew. I have severe allergies, and the pollen is already here in North Carolina, unfortunately. Thank you. Before his foot even hit the White House floor, he was wagging his fingers at the black community, saying, I'm not giving you nothing. Yeah. I don't know why all people had to do was a little research. Democrats don't do for black, white. If you're an American, they're not going to do anything for you. That's not how they operate. How you doing, Jacqueline? Cha said no more funding for Ukraine. Right. How about take care of Americans? They do for everyone except Americans. Now, we see these poll numbers. Again, a lot of the puppets and, of course, the Al Sharptons and Congressional Black Caucus and all these people and old Slyburn down there in South Carolina, they're saying they don't believe the poll numbers, but they're going to find out. People are angry, and I'm not talking about just black. I'm talking about all Americans. Okay? Andrew, Lynette, Wisconsin. Okay? Let me see where okay, here we go. Okay. And add. Okay, I'm back to the comments. Where are we here? Right, DJ, that's what I said. Democrats don't do for any Americans. Make it make sense. Or if you know of something they've done, let me know. Ms. Pugsley, what happens in the black community trickles down to everyone, right? That's why I said, if you've been watching my videos, all of us have to stick together. Okay, we can't just say, well, what they're going to do for white Americans or what are they going to do for black folks? We all intertwined. Okay. Hi, DJ. That's awesome. Exactly, DJ. I try to call it as I see it. And some of you, this is your first time here. How you doing, Agent Orange? And so I wanted to share a video with you that you may not have had an opportunity to see. So again, if you Google, and I mentioned this in an earlier video, Google the Cloward Piven strategy, okay? That's what's going on here. This is all by design, okay? George Soros is trying to destroy this country, and he's doing a very good job of it at this point. Let me share this with you. See what's going on with Biden. Thank God people are waking up. We need more to wake up, but let's listen to this.
Democrats are scrambling to appeal to early black voters, a constituency the party will need to rely on when it comes to squeaking out a win for President Biden in 2024. One Democratic strategist told The Hill, quote, "The barrier here is not how do we make them like Biden. The barrier here is how do we convince them that government works."
President Biden continues to laud his administration's achievements for the Black community, but Fox polling from 2020 and 2023 shows his popularity among these voters plummeting, while Donald Trump has seen a substantial boost. Here to discuss further is co-host of Revolutionary Blackout Network and host of the 70 Steps podcast, Sabrina Salvati. Welcome, Sabrina.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So, do you buy, the administration's claims that everybody, including everybody in the Black community, should just be all fine and dandy with how things have turned out?
I do not. I think that I have heard more from Black people that they're not willing to just cave over and vote for the Democratic Party this time around. I think that poll is very telling. This is the first time, at least since I've been eligible to vote, where I've seen 20% support from African Americans for a Republican presidential candidate. So Donald Trump's support among African Americans has actually increased compared to where it was in 2020. And I think the Democratic Party should be very concerned about this. I think this idea that Donald Trump is scary, and I'm just not convinced that message about Donald Trump is going to work with Black voters this time around in 2024 the way that it did in 2020. And I say this because during 2020, that was a chance when we were like, well, we could have a Biden presidency and it could be different compared to how it was with Donald Trump. Well, now we've had both. We've had a Biden presidency and we've had a Trump presidency. And a lot of African American voters feel that economically their life is not improved and it's actually become worse under Joe Biden presidency. So I think that the Democratic Party should be very concerned because they cannot win without African American support. And this could turn the page, I think, in reference to, we look at electoral politics and where people stand, African Americans stand in reference to the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. So we could see a change here.
Yeah, I mean, it feels a little like Joe Biden is a victim of his own 2020 rhetoric, where he was very explicit about how much he needed the Black vote to win not just the presidency, but the Senate in Georgia, and made very specific and targeted politics to both people in Georgia and to Black Americans on the whole, including setting a one-year deadline for himself to pass the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, which of course we're now blown 2 years past that deadline, 2.5 years past that initial deadline he set for himself. Obviously, canceling student debt is not something that happened, but people tend to forget that he specifically said he would cancel all student debt for graduates of HBCUs. We have not seen that. Instead, we see an HBCU being targeted earlier this week, where Black people, Black students in particular, were targeted to be victims of hate crimes only because that shooter was not let in Jacksonville. That not end up being the case. We obviously had the whole rigmarole over the amount that was promised in the checks that didn't come to fruition. And in the backdrop of all of that, I'm seeing a new stat showing that only 2% of Black millennials make over $100,000 a year. Now, obviously, $100,000 is twice as much as the American average, but those are also very small numbers compared to other groups. So what do you think that Biden might have to show? Is it possible for him to show anything to the Black community at that point that would give them confidence that he's able and willing to follow through on whatever campaign promises he makes this time around?
I'm not sure that any changes that he makes right now would actually change people's minds, for the people who said that 20%, for example, that said that they support Donald Trump. And the reason why I say that is because this isn't just about Joe Biden. This goes back to other Democrat presidents that have not fulfilled their promises and have not tried to help the Black community. That includes Barack Obama, who is a big disappointment for a lot of African Americans in this country in reference to where he stood with helping people in the Black community. Joe Biden really doesn't have a Black agenda. And I think that's important for people to understand. It's one thing when you're running for president, you make these promises and then you don't fulfill them. And the Democratic Party, for a long time, they have pandered to the Black community. When Black people are asking for certain policies to be passed, they say the right rhetoric when they're running their campaigns, but once they're elected, they ignore the Black community. In fact, I feel like we're the only group where the Democratic Party actually panders this much to, and they just don't fulfill these promises. So it was only a matter of time that eventually Black people are going to look at both parties, and I think they should look at every party and independent candidates as well and say, is this really working for us? So I think going forward, it may be a little bit too late for a Biden presidency, because we saw this with Joe Biden, we saw it with Barack Obama, we saw this with Bill Clinton. How much longer are Black people supposed to wait to get some type of concessions from the Democratic Party?
Well, now President Biden is facing another online dragging for suggesting that he.
Okay, so you get the point. And again, that young lady, I've watched a few of her videos here on YouTube. And again, there are a lot of content creators that look like me that are singing the same song. And so Steve says Biden should try turkey instead of chicken. That's not going to work either, probably. I hope not, Steve. Hamster sugar daddy. Hamster wheels need oil. A squeaky hamster wheel is still a hamster wheel. That's a good point. And so, again, folks, I just wanted to mention this to you. And again, I'm not telling you who to vote for. I give you the facts. And I have subscribers to reach out to me and say it's all one-sided. You're only talking about the Democrats, because the Republicans haven't done the things that the Democrats have done. Now, I told you the Republicans haven't actively tried to vet the Black vote, but they're not involved in the psychological manipulation and all these other tactics that the Democrats have been using for years. How you doing, financial sassiness? Okay. KD, I will not vote for Joe Biden. I will vote for Trump. Okay. And one thing I love about this my demographic in this group, we can disagree. That's fine. Again, I don't tell people who to vote for. I give you the facts. If you love the job that Joe Biden has done for America, that's your God-given American right to vote for him. DJ, do you know of Colonel Doug McGregor, retired Army? Okay, go ahead, DJ. What do you want me to know, honey? And so, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yes, financial sassiness, all is well. If you guys that weren't here, please check out my earlier video. It's into the thousands now. It's doing very well. And we're trying to boycott Tyson Foods that laid off 1,300 people in Iowa. Now they're going to New York to recruit migrants. So again, people, you're being replaced. You don't see that? Yeah. So again, as long as you're not an American, the Democrats will do for you. And I wanted to share this again. Sugar Daddy, Ronald Reagan really wasn't that bad considering 2024. Yeah, Ronald Reagan was all right. So again, you run into people who always say, I'll never vote Republican. Some of the people I talk to, they feel the same way I do about, topics and issues, but they won't vote Republican. Listen to this again, the inconvenient truth about the Democratic Party, and a lot of people don't know this. You're voting against your own self-interest.
When you think about racial equality and civil rights, which political party comes to mind? The Republicans or the Democrats? Most people would probably say the Democrats, but this answer is incorrect. Since its founding in 1829, the Democratic Party has fought against every major civil rights initiative and has a long history of discrimination. The Democratic Party defended slavery, started the Civil War, opposed Reconstruction, founded the Ku Klux Klan, imposed segregation, perpetrated lynchings, and fought against the Civil Rights Acts of the 1950s and 1960s. In contrast, the Republican Party was founded in 1854 as an anti-slavery party. Its mission was to stop the spread of slavery into the new Western territories with the aim of abolishing it entirely. This effort, however, was dealt a major blow by the Supreme Court in the 1857 case Dred Scott versus Sandford. The court ruled that slaves aren't citizens, they're property. The 7 justices who voted in favor of slavery, all Democrats. The 2 justices who dissented, both Republicans. The slavery question was, of course, ultimately resolved by a bloody civil war. The commander-in-chief during that war was the first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, the man who freed the slaves. 6 days after the Confederate Army surrendered, John Wilkes Booth, a Democrat, assassinated President Lincoln. Lincoln's vice president, a Democrat named Andrew Johnson, assumed the presidency. But Johnson adamantly opposed Lincoln's plan to integrate the newly freed slaves into the South's economic and social order. Johnson and the Democratic Party were unified in their opposition to the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery, the 14th Amendment, which gave blacks citizenship, and the 15th Amendment, which gave blacks the vote. All 3 passed only because of universal Republican support. During the era of Reconstruction, federal troops stationed in the South helped secure rights for the newly freed slaves. Hundreds of black men were elected to Southern state legislatures as Republicans, and 22 black Republicans served in the U.S. Congress by 1900. The Democrats did not elect a black man to Congress until 1935. But after Reconstruction ended, when the federal troops went home, Democrats roared back into power in the South. They quickly reestablished white supremacy across the region with measures like black codes, laws that restricted the ability of blacks to own property and run businesses, and they imposed poll taxes and literacy tests used to subvert black citizens' right to vote. And how was all of this enforced? By terror, much of it instigated by the Ku Klux Klan, founded by a Democrat, Nathan Bedford Forrest. As historian Eric Foner, himself a Democrat, notes, in effect, the Klan was a military force serving the interests of the Democratic Party. President Woodrow Wilson, a Democrat, shared many views with the Klan. He resegregated many federal agencies and even screened the first movie ever played at the White House, the racist film, The Birth of a Nation, originally entitled The Klansman. A few decades later, the only serious congressional opposition to the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1964 came from Democrats. 80% of Republicans in Congress supported the bill, less than 70% of Democrats did. Democratic senators filibustered the bill for 75 days until Republicans mustered the few extra votes needed to break the logjam. And when all of their efforts to enslave blacks, keep them enslaved, and then keep them from voting had failed, the Democrats came up with a new strategy. If black people are going to vote, they might as well vote for Democrats, as President Lyndon Johnson was purported to have said about the Civil Rights Act. I'll have them voting Democrat for 200 years.
Yep.
So now, the Democratic Party prospers on the votes of the very people it has spent much of its history oppressing. Democrats falsely claim that the Republican Party is the villain, when in reality, it's the failed policies of the Democratic Party that have kept blacks down. Massive government welfare has decimated the black family. Opposition to school choice has kept them trapped in failing schools. Politically correct policing has left black neighborhoods defenseless against violent crime. So when you think about racial equality and civil rights, which political party should come to mind? I'm Carol Swain, professor of political science and law at Vanderbilt University for Prager University.
And if you don't know who she is, she's wonderful. That's Dr. Carol Swain. I haven't had time to read her autobiography. I have been watching her videos here on YouTube. She's great. And she tells you, oh yeah, Andrew, she is. How you doing, Toy Mafia? She's spot on. She's not going to be a person, making excuses. I did a video. If you didn't check it out, I'm telling you, You need to check it out. Those of you who are here, please go ahead. If you hit that little thumb, that like button, that triggers the YouTube logarithm. Yeah, oh yeah, Lisa, she's brilliant. And again, let's see, what's his name? Dr. Soul. Let me see. And so you see more and more people coming out and trying to get the word out, the truth, not the lies from the left. All right? How are you going to fix a problem if you just keep listening to lies? So she's great. I love her. She's great. So Dr. Soul, I did everyone's talking about, the situation with the Black family, and you can blame the Democrats for that. Okay. With their social programs. Andrew, anybody need to see a victim of Democrat idiocy? Okay. Carnell Littles, dude put video out saying they seized Trump's plane. DJ Lewis, my grandparents didn't get to know their history because what happened? They've been lying for hundreds of years, right? So thank God, DJ, we have the internet now. So I wish more people would get out and do a little research. Financial, of course, Strom Thurmond of South Carolina was a rhino. He was really a Democrat that switched to the Republican Party. Exactly, just like Nikki Haley, yeah. Thank you, Peter, for sharing out the live. Bushcraft, how are you? Oh, yes, I'm trying to get the truth out. That's what it's all about. Agent Orange, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, too many people have been lied to and hoodwinked all these years. Lisa, I shared to family in Facebook. Thank you, Truth Social. Thank you so much, Lisa. Yeah, again, I can't get the truth out by myself. And I told you guys, those of you who've been here for a while, we're going to see more and more people coming out with more lies. All right. And so I told you, they're putting Kamala Harris out there now. Haven't seen her since they were voted in. Now she's going to get out. Oh, I can't with her. Now she's out here dancing and marching. It's ridiculous. But again, I really feel that, and like I said, you can vote for who you want to vote for. But just know, so that you can be an informed voter, just know what you're voting for. That's all I say. As long as you know what you're voting for, I mean, that's good. So that's why, again, Black voters, like this lady, she looks to be in her 50s or 60s. They're waking up to the schemes, to the gaslighting, to the lies of the Democrats, and I love it. Cha-cha. Why don't Nikki Haley just become a Democrat? I know Cha-cha. She may as well. Steve, did I see Kamala at the truck stop? Probably, Steve. She's all over the place now. You haven't seen her since they were voted in. Agent Orange, I have a feeling Rowland's going to do some things beyond her imagination. This is just a start. Agent Orange, that's the plan. I can retire from my teaching job in 2027, and I want to do more. However, I do want to, I want to go to a sanctuary city. We're on spring break in a couple of weeks, so I am trying to plan something so I can actually live stream and show you in real time what's going on. Thank you so much, Agent Orange. Andrew, okay, DJ, giggles ain't worth nothing, just easier for Barry to pull them strings. Right, she's just laughing all the time and just using all kinds of words that don't make sense. Financial Assassin's earlier, I was reading a political grandstanding attempt of stating Trump underperformed in the primary. They ignored the Dems, voted for Nikki. Exactly. You have to, get through the lamestream media. Jacqueline, Carol Swain would make a fantastic VP. She's brilliant. God, I wish they would also find a place for Dr. Souls. So listen to this lady. So she's an older Black woman who talks about what the Democrats have done to the Black family. So I really applaud the older people because it's usually more difficult, to get people. People are usually, yes, she is a star. I love her. People are usually set and they're not changing. So listen to what she says.
A blessing to see and listen to people who understand how dangerous the Democrat Party is. Listen to this.
The Democratic Party, they promote Black women, but particularly if she's a lesbian. They promote Black women who are not even qualified. We have seen with the diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is really racism, which is really saying, well, Black people just darn it, they're not smart enough, so we have to give them handouts. And you're pushing Black women who are not qualified. Dr. Claudine Gay of Harvard. Now the head of diversity at Harvard is also accused, if I have it correctly, of plagiarism. And we'll get to Fannie Willis, who was elected as a DA in Fulton County, Georgia, primarily because she's Black, in my opinion. And we've seen case after case. But the Black man, where is he? That's done deliberately. And it started really in the 60s, where the Democrats pushed policy, right, that said to women, particularly Black women, you don't need a man in the home. We'll give you more money if you're single. And I grew up in the 70s and I saw the effects. I saw it in the 80s, the broken home. Now it's more dysfunctional home where you have some women with 8 children by 5 different fathers. They don't know who their fathers are, in and out. It has almost destroyed the Black community. But they're doing it in a different way now. They're promoting Black women and want Black men to be down here. And I think Black men sense that. And they know that Trump relates to them. They relate to Trump very well. And the evil Barack Obama.
Barack Obama is a foot soldier.
Oh yeah, for the globalists. Oh, absolutely. Barack Obama was a plant. Barack Obama was a plant. He did nothing for the Black community. Did he ever come back to Chicago with as much crime to talk to young Black men? He doesn't give a damn. Barack Obama is a curse on this nation. So is Joe Biden. We provide the money for his Marxist socialist programs, pushing abortion in Africa and other things. He didn't care about us. He didn't care. That gave rise to Trump. Because Trump actually listened to us. He actually cares. Many of us, it was bad. At least Bill Clinton BS and said, I feel your pain. But he said it. Barack Obama didn't give a damn. He should have never been elected. Before he was elected in 2000, he got elected in 2008. My mother said, may God rest her soul, letters to Black churches, warning them about Barack Obama, saying he was so ungodly. I said, Mom, that's harsh. She wrote it anyway. And everything my mother said, may God rest her soul, was right. He hates his country, but he wants to live off the fat of the land. Like the founders of Black Lives Matter, they don't give a damn about Black people. They didn't have to spend one dime to help build a Black business. But these lesbians, they bought homes in predominantly white neighborhoods. See, they say they hate capitalism, but they love to use us and live off of capitalism, while they spout an anti-God, anti-America rhetoric. Black community, they put us in danger. No, not all Black people are drug dealers or this or that, but you're harming the average Black who lives in an area that is high crime. When you talk about defund the police, and we saw the other day in New York City, where you had illegals beating up NYPD officers. That went viral. But under Trump, something like that would have been dealt with immediately. He would have spoken out immediately. Alvin Bragg, from what I understand, helped them to get out.
Okay.
Yeah. No bail. There is a concern among Democrats that the vote for Trump is hardening within the Black community. It's solidifying. It's not just a passing fancy. And I think Democrats, both black and white, liberals, they're panicked. Some of the reasons why blacks, particularly black men,
Yeah.
are drawn to Trump is that he puts America first. He puts Americans first. We see that Joe Biden and his administration, they now must battle with the state of Texas to cut down the barbed wire. We, ladies and gentlemen, have essentially an invasion of our country going on.
Great.
Black people are waking up. All you have to do, I would recommend it, if you want verification, go on YouTube. Black residents in Chicago, type in Chicago, black people, immigrants. They are fed up. Black people are now feeling the effects. You know, when these liberal mayors, oh, we want to be a sanctuary city, New York, LA, even Newark, New Jersey. We want to be a sanctuary city. But you see, they don't put the illegals where Nancy Pelosi lives.
Nope.
Where the illegals, they put them with us. And I'm not anti anything, but it must be done correctly and fairly.
That's right.
I mean, the hypocrisy of these leftists and liberals is stunning.
God bless this lady for her honesty.
Yeah. So again, folks, I don't know how much you're on social media or how much you're on here on YouTube, but a lot of people that look like that lady and look like me are saying the same thing. So are we all lying? So yeah. Again, people are fed up. Love Truck, how are you? What would you think about Michelle Obama if she was to replace Biden? They're so desperate, Love Truck. They may try to do that. They see Biden is not polling very well for Black Americans, but Michelle Obama has her own problems with the Black community. And let me see if I have that video. I can show, I think I did a video where I mentioned that Michelle Obama has a serious problem with the Black community. But they're going to pull some type of rotten stunt, I think, because they know the way things are looking, Biden's not going to win. So I don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, but I feel that they're going to try to use someone else that they think can win the Democratic ticket. Biden's not going to cut it. They know that. Yeah, Peter, they're going to come up with some ruse, some kind of way to get rid of him. And then they're going to slide someone in there that they think, okay, this person, they'll vote for this person. So they're up to something. The typical liberal gaslighting and psychological manipulation and all the other things that they do. How you doing, Jalapeno? Catch up. Thank you for the super chat. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you as well. Those of you who have been here on the channel for a while, we know they're always up to no good. They're very un-American. And so they're trying to destroy this country. And so one of you mentioned that earlier. I think one of those buses went to Martha's Vineyard. They weren't there 24 hours. They got those people out of there. So while they're telling you how wonderful this migrant crisis is, they're not dealing with them, and they don't have the people in their communities. So I don't want to hear it. Okay. And if you weren't here earlier, like I said, the Democrats are benefiting and the Republicans. What are we going to do? I told you what I would do. Andrew, Martha's Vineyard had the National Guard there within hours. They sure did. They're like, not here. The elites, the liberals, the leftists. Yeah. They tell you to do one thing and they do something else. Right. Laura, they want people to bring them into their homes. Laura, don't do that. Laura, you weren't here when I started this series. Venezuela opened up their jails and prisons and told them to run to the U.S. border. Laura, check out my prior videos. They're committing all kinds of crimes. They just broke up a human trafficking ring in Florida. They have gangs that are being involved with robbing people. The R word, I can't use that. You know, the girl that was murdered, Laken Riley, Biden didn't even want to call her name. Then he apologized because he called the guy an illegal. No one has time for that nonsense. Financial sassiness. The governor declared a state of emergency for 50 people at Martha's Vineyard. Yeah, they didn't want those people there, but they want you to accept them when they dump them in your community. Okay, right. Typical liberal shenanigans. Steve, I will never vote for Big Mike, especially after buying a pair of Trump's golden sneakers. Okay. Americans enjoy the deep sleep in every weird situation. Okay. DSP, those immigrants will take your house if you let them in. Don't do it. DSB, no one pays Rocket mortgage every month but me, so I won't be taking anyone in. I won't. Okay. You're right. Janelle, not asking me, but my opinion on Michelle Obama would be a continuation of what we have now. Pretty much. And guys, come on. You know Biden is in serious cognitive decline. This is technically Barack Obama's third term. Okay, come on now. Let's call it what it is. We know, cognitively speaking, Joe Biden is not able to make rational decisions. He doesn't know who he is or where he is half the time. Okay, I'm just calling it what it is. You said you wanted truth. Yeah, Andrew, he did mispronounce the girl's name. God bless. Laura, I have been listening to all of it. I have went down the rabbit hole. They don't want us to do our own research. That's right, Laura. That's why you've got to help me get the word out, girl. Have you read Obama's On My Father's Grave? No, I have not. I have not. Sergeant, you know. Okay, Sergeant King, you know. We know the Democrats got a lot of nerve because I know it. Illegal immigration is wrong. But why is it that they can turn away the Haitians? Right? So, again, if that doesn't wake you up, the Haitians, they are in turmoil. I think some gangs just took over their government. But, honey, they won't let them in. Okay. So, you still want to vote for the Democrats. Okay, go ahead. Andrew, here in Chicago, us Democrats need to take the poor asylum migrants into our homes. Come on, Chicago. Oh, no. Lisa, she's giving facts. Yes, Lisa, I'm giving you nothing but truth here. Everything I tell you, you can research yourself. Steve, they give him electric shock treatments just to wake him up. And that's why they don't want him debating. They know he's going to start talking off the rails again. He needs to be in a retirement home. Come on. Janelle, your internet's bad. I'm sorry, dear. Peter, they announced they will evacuate Haiti possibly starting tomorrow. Yeah. Excuse me. Haiti's in a really bad situation. They really are. How you doing, Glory? I'm Team Jesus first and then Team Trump next. And I voted for him 2020. Praises be to God. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see what the Democrats are doing. Yeah. And if you've been on this channel since I started this series, it's a whole new voting demographic. And also, Americans are being replaced. Cheaper labor. Yeah. That's what's going on. George Soros is the puppet master. He's behind all this. And of course, he has his puppets everywhere. And those of you here for the first time, they're trying to use the puppets to get Black Americans back on the Democratic plantation. That's what they're trying to do. They don't know what to do. Matt, I wrote some theme music for you. Okay, Matt, send it to my email, sweetie. Thank you. Karen Simmons, I'm looking for at least a 30% increase of Black people to vote for Trump. Karen, it's going to be high, dear. Something I've never seen in my lifetime. That's why I keep covering this topic. Financial. I own one of those shock treatment things. Oh, wow. I kind of like the tingling sensation. Yeah, I have a TENS unit too. Laura, the great replacement, that's what it is. Laura, Americans, if they don't know what's going on, they are being replaced. Yes, I've been saying that. Thank you. Peter, You'll own nothing and like it. Sound familiar? Socialism 101. All right? So keep listening to these people and see where that gets you. The Black Lives Matter, the Al Sharptons, all the other puppets, the LeBron Jameses. You guys see what's happening in Seattle right now? Remember they wanted to defund the police? Now they don't have enough police officers. It's a mess. Why the heck would you defund the police? Google it if you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm covering these issues with prayer. We have to. Exactly, Karen. Lisa, do you have a link for this lady that you can share? I would love to put her on my Truth Social. Lisa, you want Carol Swain or the let me see. Which video did you want, Lisa? Tell me for sure, and then I can go back and add it when I end this live. Just tell me which one you're talking about. Nailed it with the socialism. Yeah, it's socialism. They want to take from those of us who are working. I mean, they're already taking now. With the tax, all of our tax money is funding this whole fiasco. Peter, next 7 months going to be great. Yeah, I can't wait for November to get here. Lisa, tell me which link you want me to share, dear. And that's pretty much all I had to share with you. Pittsburgh, oh yeah. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now, those of you who've been here before, I told you, I used to live in Allentown, Pennsylvania. They're not even answering all 911 calls. Okay, you want to defund the police? Get out of here. Depending on where you live now, I told you, I live in North Carolina. We're all down here. We're locked and loaded. Depending on where you live, you might not have access to a gun legally. Carol Swain. There's so many of us out here sharing the truth of these invisible chains. Karen gets it. Karen, we're enslaved here, right? And we, for too long, have listened to the lies from the left. So the slavery is mental. So people don't even realize they're programmed. They're brainwashed. How you doing, budget grower? They took his words out of context. Okay, who are you talking about? Did y'all hear what Trump said if he loses the election? So anyway, Carol, I can share that for you, the inconvenient truth. I can share that with you. So what I'm saying is people have to be deprogrammed, right? Think independently. So if you hear something, and for God's sake, if you watch something on CNN or MSNBC, you sure better go and check it out because they're full of lies. Karen, as a man thinks, so is he. I shut off all cable and get more info from the internet. Karen, you're very intelligent, very astute, budget grower, auto industry. Yeah, they started with Tyson. They're doing it with Tyson. They're coming for all our jobs. They want to pay. They want cheap labor. Man, the cost of having these illegal immigrants in New York, Maine, Chicago, Colorado, and they're soon going to hit Atlanta. It's already over $1 billion. It is, Burwell. It's costing the taxpayers. Yeah, who do you know when they're talking about, oh, they have the free plane tickets, free bus tickets. Nothing is free. We're paying for that, people. That's not free. Oh. So anyway, that's why I'm on this crusade to wake people up. And hey, if you can help me share the word, right? More people can learn. Laura and Robots, we have a restaurant in Salem, Oregon that the waitress, oh, wow, Laura, really? Whoa. I'm going to type in the chat section. If you'll hang around after I end the live, I'll add it so you can click on it. Laura, I think you're the one who wanted you. Yeah. I think you were asking for the name of it is The Inconvenient Truth About the Democratic Party. It's on YouTube, but I'll type it in for you. Laura, yeah, don't even go. Don't go. So that's all I wanted to share with you folks. So hope Mr. Power Tool, how are you? excuse me, is my other account. It's me, DSB. Oh, thank you, Miss. Okay, DSB. I thank all of you for being here. And again, you help me get the information out so that people can wake up, remove the scales from their eyes, and see they've been lied to, they've been programmed, they've been brainwashed by the Democratic Party, and it's time for them to wake up. I'm telling you, I'm not a big spiritual person, but I believe this was from God. This migrant crisis, God is using to wake up America so they can see what's really going on. Laura, okay, yeah, I got you. Karen, thanks for sharing. I found you last week. We're everywhere. Right, Karen. Thank you so much. And yeah, you guys who have Facebook, that have Instagram, share these videos out. I enjoy the commentary. I enjoy debating and discussing with you. I enjoy letting you know what's going on, so you don't wake up one day like, what the heck is this? You're going to hear it here. I'm going to talk about everything here that may not be affecting you now, but it will. Okay? And those of you who were here last week, remember I was singing, maybe aging myself a bit. And I told you, so you see, I wasn't lying. I have the best of Carly Simon. All right? Album. Original. Okay? And I think I sang her song last week, You're So Vain. But yeah, I know I may be dating myself a bit, but hey, what can I say? Cha-Cha, you ready? I'm getting ready to let everyone go. Roland Martin, he's a plant. I don't listen to anything Roland Martin says. All these plants are paid. Roland Martin, Attorney Crump, excuse me, Al Sharpton, all paid plants. Congressional Black Caucus, they're paid. All the black preachers who let all of the Democrats come into their churches to have their members to vote Democratic. Right, paid for. Karen gets it. Exact. That 70s Agent Orange, yes, yes. So I'll sing one more song for you today. Carly Simon. Let's see which one. I sang You're So Vain. Nobody does it better. Makes me feel sad for the rest. Nobody does it half as good as you. Baby, all of you are the best. All right. Now, don't worry. I'm not quitting my day job, but I absolutely love, love, love Carly Simon. And yes, I still have a record player. Yes, The Spy Who Loved Me, Agent Orange, yes. You got it. Swollen Martin never misses a meal the way he's built up. DSB, every time I see him, when he pops up in my feed, I keep scrolling. I don't want to hear anything he has to say. He would never even mention anything about the migrant crisis. And then that crooked Vineyard mayor up in Chicago who put the city, who had the city $7 million in debt, he had her on defending her. Get out of here. Raisa, beautiful. Oh, thank you, Raisa. Now, my allergies are off the charts right now. The pollen's choking me, but I'll get better in a couple of weeks. Yeah. DSB, he's a Democratic shield. Congressional Black Caucus, Democratic shield. Black ministers and preachers, Democratic shields. I'm not listening to any of them. I was raised to be an independent thinker. I'm not into groupthink. That's the Democratic way of doing things. No, thank you. That's Agent Orange, The Spy Who Loved Me. Yes. Oh, I love that. Roll that stone. No disrespect to Dem voters, but I don't understand how they can vote Dem based on everything going on in the economy, inflation, open borders, migrant crimes. Roll, we're just going to have to keep praying. I don't know how they can vote. I would not I know too much about them. I've done my research. I can't vote for Democrats. I cannot. I can't and sleep well at night. I can't. I will not. I won't. Steve, I put a spell on you. Okay. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I do thank you for being here. All right. And hopefully all of you will be here next Sunday, 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And send me an email. I'll try to answer most of your comments. Karen, stick around so I can give you that link to that video. Agent Orange, Financial Sassiness, Andrew, everyone, have an enjoyable, safe work week. We're going to get together here again next Sunday, 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to start answering comments now in the live chat comment section. Thank you all for spending your valuable time here at Roland's Reviews.